Hello?
Cinematic Venom! You got it all wrong!
I'm sorry?
You got it all wrong!
Is that Dan Bull?
The Incredible Hulk's thunderclap is his signature move in the comics. How would you not know that?
Because I don't read the comics?
Why?
Because I have sex.
But it's his signature move!
That doesn't automatically make it better.
What?
I mean, it's still stupid. Just because it's in the comics doesn't mean that a giant hulked up green dude clapping his hands together to stop bad guys isn't ridiculous.
The comics!
I mean, Superman made a porno with another man's wife in the comics. Should that be in the movies?
Yes.
Seriously?
And you said it was Tony's heart, but it wasn't. It was a super magnet that keeps the shrapnel out of his real heart.
I know, but it's just easier to say his heart, and he still managed to do all of that impossible shit during a cardiac arrest.
It was in the comics!
He has a secret identity in the comics.
Shut up!
Look, it was done whether it was in the comics or not. I still enjoyed the movie. Now I gotta go. Bye.
No! You also said the dog died, but it didn't.
Iron Man 2. Director Jon Favreau originally wanted Iron Man to be a trilogy, with Jeff Bridges playing Ironmonger, but he wouldn't have transformed until the sequels. This changed, however, after Favreau met with several comic book writers and they insisted that Mandarin was to be the main villain and was too big to share the screen with another.
What the hell is the difference?
Favreau agreed and compared it to Star Wars, where the Emperor was there, but Darth Vader was really the guy you wanted to see fight, and you build up to the Emperor. You wouldn't have the fight in the third film take place in the first one. He also wanted to explore Tony Stark's alcohol abuse as his life starts to go downhill. Obviously in the comics, the Demon in a Bottle covers this, but they were clear that this would not be adapted from that. It was its own thing. Ah, but Marvel follows the comics, remember?
I'm not a joiner, but I'll consider Secretary of Defense, if you ask nice. We can amend the hours a little bit.
In the comics, Tony was actually given this position, but here he has to kind of ask.
That's not true.
And don't you tell me Marvel never claimed to follow the comics. It is you people! You Marvel fans, all I hear. At least they follow the comics and DC doesn't. Yeah, well, I'm going to prove all the times they don't. Due to Tony using the suit more frequently, his health is also deteriorating, and it's ultimately poisoning him. This is in reference to Mark 16 in the comics, where Tony has to completely abandon the suit altogether due to the problems. Except here, he doesn't. Tony even promotes Pepper and makes her CEO of the company in case he dies, though she's unaware of the details. Now this is a reference to the Invincible Iron Man, but in the comic, Norman Osborn is hellbent on exposing the identities of the superheroes. You know, because in the comic books, Tony actually has a secret identity. And during this story, he heads underground with Maria Hill, appointing Pepper as CEO during his absence. But here, he appoints her as CEO in case he dies. Ivan returns ready to teach Tony a lesson. The thing is, this character is a combination of Crimson Dynamo, who was Dr. Vanko, as well as the supervillain Whiplash. It's not one singular written villain. Whiplash slashes Tony's car. I'm just saying that in the comics, Stark has a natural car crash and is then rescued and he's not attacked by a villain. Now in the comic books, Justin Hammer looks like this. Ah, yes. Doesn't Sam Rockwell resemble this old man? In the comics, Tony dealt with alcohol as an escape. He had his inner demons and battled it, using alcohol to coat up his depression. It was this huge inner battle. He had to fight himself metaphorically. In the movie, oh, he just pissed in his suit. The movie was planned almost immediately after the first one came out, and the story was going to be written by Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. themselves. Letting the star help write? Yeah. Really did wonders for Incredible Hulk, didn't it?
You don't know better.
Terrence Howard, who played Rhodey in the first film, was recast, but he wasn't even informed or given an explanation as to why. Bit douchey.
Wait, what? What'd you just say?
Jon Favreau claimed he did not like working with Terrence Howard at all, always having to reshoot his scenes and sometimes cutting them down or out entirely. Though Marvel claimed they didn't want to cut the character out of the sequel, so they actually approached Terrence Howard to lower his salary. Howard was actually paid the most for the first movie, and it's unclear what happened next. Some believe that Howard's representatives left the project due to not being able to find a salary that they were happy with, while others claim Marvel just gave up negotiating. Though Howard himself seemed bitter, claiming that that they took the money intended for him and paid it to Robert Downey Jr. instead, which didn't go down too well, especially since he was one of the people who suggested Downey for the lead role in the first film. But he's the lead star! How are you going to get angry that you're being paid less than the lead star? Like, what? Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger's going along making money for T2, and then Edward Furlong's dad is like, well, why is Arnold getting paid more than me? I think this is quite unfair. I'm leaving.
What do you want from me?
Thankfully, the two actors would later make amends. Regardless, he was replaced by Don Cheadle, while Sam Rockwell, who nearly got the part of Tony in the first film, joined as Justin Hammer, quite possibly the coolest name in existence.
Thank you, sir.
Originally, Emily Blunt was going to play the first ever live-action portrayal of Black Widow, but she had to back out due to her commitment to Gulliver's Travels. And Samuel Jackson also came close to not coming back as Nick Fury due to contract disputes. However, by February of 2009, a deal was made and Jackson was signed on for up to 9 movies. Mickey Rourke almost backed out of appearing in it as they offered him $250,000, which was a minuscule amount to him. But they did eventually raise the offer, leading to him agreeing, and that very same day, Scarlett Johansson signed on to play Black Widow, including any spin-offs and or sequels. Though Jessica Biel, Gemma Arterton, Natalie Portman, Jessica Alba and Angelina Jolie were all considered, and Eliza Dushku, who tried her best to land the part. Okay, that should have happened. Eliza Dushku in that outfit. Whew!
You got that?
Filming began on April the 6th, 2009, mostly in a studio, but there was a Grand Prix sequence that was originally going to be filmed at the 2009 Monaco Grand Prix, but this was later retracted and had to be shot on a set in a parking lot instead.
How's that make you feel?
However, Jon Favreau had a lot of problems as the Marvel studio kept interfering, forcing him to rewrite the script as they went along, ruining his original vision. Nick Fury is in a great deal of the movie to hype the future crossovers, which Favreau didn't want. He kept Nick minimal to focus on that movie's own individual plot. Hey, someone knows how movies work!
Yes, sir.
It was because of this that Favreau actually refused to direct the third one. Furthermore, Mickey Rourke wasn't happy that a great deal of his scenes were cut out, damaging his character's development. Iron Man 2 premiered just over a year later on April 26, 2010 and went on to gross $623.9 million, and it even had the 5th highest opening weekend in history. Fans and critics were split, but most agreed that it just didn't match up to its predecessor. Some thought it was a major disappointment, while others believe, although it wasn't as fun as part 1, it was still an adequate sequel. Well, let's see what I make of it. Is it a worthy follow-up, or just a disappointing mess?
That was rhetorical, just show me.
So the movie opens up with a guy called Ivan Venko, played by Mickey Rourke, doing a bunch of reaction shots for the editors to add opening credits over. I swear to God, if he builds another suit...
Done deal. Okay.
So we cut to 6 months later with Iron Man flying around, which is pretty cool, and the music is kick-ass. But, wait, what? My God, why is he still a d***head? Do you remember the first movie? He was an and then he went through this transition and learned to become humble, and he was a nice guy at the end. Well, now we're in Iron Man 2 and he's reverted to back being a again. Why? Why is he a again? I don't understand. Just look at this. He's even more of an egomaniacal, arrogant prick. He's so full of himself. Can you stop being a twat? Oh, hey, there's Stan Lee playing Larry King. Well, of course. Oh, and this is Seth Green. No, seriously. That's a Seth Green cameo. Why?
Is this a joke?
So the government see Tony's Iron Man suit as a weapon and want to remove it, which he tries to fight against. I actually do quite like this idea. I'm not usually into movies becoming too political, but coming off the last film, this does actually make sense and it isn't as boring as it sounds. And that's when we meet Rhodey again. But hey, now he's that dude from the much better superhero movie, The Meteor Man!
And a lot of things have changed.
So the basic point is they can't risk Tony having this suit when other countries are such a high risk. But Stark counters this argument by showing footage of other countries being completely incompetent. Is it just me, or is this a really weak argument? I mean, he's literally saying he's allowed essentially dangerous weapons because other countries are morons? I mean, Tony's also convinced that he's now achieved world peace, but how? We're only on the 2nd movie. I get that 6 months have passed, but Jesus, talk about tell, don't show. Iron Man builds a suit, kicks Jeff Bridges' ass, and now he's somehow achieved world peace. Because apparently nobody in the entire world has the knowledge that Tony Stark has. He is literally the smartest man alive.
Absolutely.
So Tony and Pepper are continuing to have problems within the company, but this is just boring. Who wants to hear this in their Iron Man movie?
Stark is in complete disarray. Do you understand that?
No, our stocks have never been higher.
Yes, from a managerial standpoint.
Well, if it's messy, then let's double back. Let's move on to another.
Oh, no. You are not taking down the barn at Newman and hanging that up.
I'm not taking it down. I'm just replacing it with this. Let's see what I can get.
Okay, fine. My point is, we have already awarded contracts to the wind farm people.
Don't say wind farm, I'm already feeling
And to the plastic
gassy.
plantation tree, which was your idea, by the way. Those people are on payroll.
Everything was
and
my
you won't
idea.
make a decision.
I don't care about the liberal agenda anymore. It's boring. Boring. I'm giving you a boring alert.
Oh, just fight something!
What are you thinking?
But then we cut to Tony sparring with Jon Favreau, letting out some frustrations.
Sorry.
What the hell was that?
That was for agreeing to this script. And then we're introduced to Tony's new assistant replacing Pepper, Natasha, aka Black Widow, played by Scarlett Johansson, though she's undercover with the alias Natalie.
Will that be all, Mr. Stark?
Yes, that will be all, Miss Rushman. Thank you very much.
I want one.
No.
Why is Pepper so cool with the fact that her boyfriend is clearly perving over another woman? I mean, the first movie clearly established that they were together, and this is beyond harmless flirting. Look at it! I mean, she kicks Favreau's ass and Pepper is smug about it, but it makes no sense. I'm guessing she's smug because she's like, you want to bang her, but you can't because she'll beat you up? No! He shouldn't want to bang her. He's with you!
Go with it. Go,
Like
Mr.
that.
Stark.
Hey,
Hello. How was your flight?
it was excellent. Boy, it's nice to
We
see
have
you.
one photographer from the ACM
Cheers.
if you don't mind. Okay.
When did this happen?
Come on, you made me do it.
I made you do what?
quit. Smile. Great there. Stop acting constipated.
You are
Don't
so
flare your nostrils.
predictable.
Right this
That's
way.
the amazing
Thanks.
thing.
You look fantastic.
Is every Avenger unfaithful? Oh no, the arrogant, self-centered, money-hungry, attention-seeking, cheating douchebag is dying. So this is when Tony takes part in the Grand Prix, the single most boring sport in the entire world. Seriously, I like the part where they drive around a corner. Hey, that's better! So obviously this now means the government want Iron Man back. Isn't this just any superhero movie ever? The Dark Knight, Superman 3, Transformers 2, Suicide Squad. Hero turns evil or whatever and then they realise, oh shit, no, we need him back. And those are just the ones that I can remember right now.
Congratulations.
Okay, that is an amazing shot. But Jesus Christ, Tony doesn't even have his suit and he still manages to survive this guy. Look at this. How is he this immortal? And how can Whiplash have perfect accuracy for racing cars, but not a man right in front of him? I love the look on his face right there. Well, how dare you? So bear in mind that Ivan is a normal human being just with some fancy technology like Tony, and they still drive into him over and over and over and over again. And he's still alive! And Favreau wanted this to be the realistic franchise. But man, what the hell happened to Pepper? In the first movie, she was so strong and independent and she helped him. But here, she's just been reduced to a generic damsel in distress who just screams at everything. But hey, it's nice of Ivan to just stand there quietly while Tony takes the time to suit up. How nice of him. I will admit though, the fight scene is pretty cool, especially in front of the crowd. Oh. Alright then. Yeah, that was, anticlimactic. The kind of fight was that?
Turn that on.
So Tony interrogates him and it is quite funny how he gives him tips for next time.
Focus the repulsor energy through ionized plasma channels. It's effective.
But basically, Ivan just wanted to prove that Iron Man wasn't as perfect and immortal as everyone believed. He just wanted to show that he could be harmed. So he would have had to know that Tony was going to be at the race, which was a last-minute decision. Even Pepper didn't know. And despite being okay with him fighting crime, she has a pissy fight over him driving in the Grand Prix for some reason.
Sure.
But he would have had to know that Tony would be there, or be close enough to come and fight him. He would have had to know that Tony would have his Iron Man suit with him, and that's not even assuming Stark would have just blasted him away from a distance anyway. That is a plan that's leaving a lot up to chance.
Yep.
It's just unbelievable. It proves the genie is out of the bottle and this man has no idea what he's doing. He thinks of the Iron Man weapon as a toy.
He just stopped a criminal and saved people!
He should be giving me a medal.
That's what I'm saying! So Ivan gets busted out of jail and they fake his death. Which makes no sense. I mean, they send another prisoner into his cell with the same inmate number. So wouldn't he be AWOL and then realise that prisoner's missing? But then this guard, for some reason, doesn't detain Ivan as soon as he sees him and farts about for a bit. Then Ivan kills him right in the middle of the corridor and walks off. How would you explain that? Ivan just died in his cell and then a random guard got his neck snapped for no reason. Then the cell explodes and he gets captured and taken away to Sam Rockwell. So they sit and casually have dinner while they discuss their hate boners for Tony Stark. Two villains teaming up. Batman Returns, Superman 2, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. This is almost every superhero movie ever! In fact, isn't Justin Hammer's character exactly the same as Obadiah Stone? Think about it. They think he's a good guy on Tony's side, but then he's a double agent hell-bent on killing him. They have made the same movie twice! Oh, and this photo of Ivan being arrested is a real photo of Mickey Rourke facing a real arrest on drugs charges when he was younger. A bit douchey to use that, but alright.
Yikes.
So Rhodey warns Tony that the government are coming to take away his suits just as Stark's health continues to drain. I just find it so difficult to sympathise with the guy. The first movie showed him going through such a traumatic transformation only for him to be a dickhead again. And then Natasha hits on him for some reason. Why is everyone in the Avengers a cheating bellend? But you are about to witness the death of Iron Man. Are you ready? Deep breaths. Here we go. It's just so cringy. This is when Tony gets drunk and embarrasses himself. But if you think that was bad...
You know, the question I get asked most often is, Tony, how do you go to the bathroom in the suit? Just like that.
Iron Man just p***ed in his suit. He just p***ed in his suit. Ironically how this movie was written. And he tries to force himself on a pepper in front of everybody. Jesus Christ, why do I still hate the main character? And you can't even say, oh, well, he's having a midlife crisis. No, because almost all of the mistakes in his life are his fault. And the thing is, in the original idea, they wanted Pepper to actually be seeing another man, which would add on to his depression. But it's not in the film, so that's not even there. There's no sympathy. He's just a d*** who doesn't take responsibility for his own actions. We're 2 movies in and he's still a c***.
I had a feeling.
So Rhodey has seen enough and gets in a suit, but how the hell does Tony even manage to do this as well as he does, considering he's completely plastered? And now everybody believes Iron Man is the bad guy, because why not steal more cliches from The Dark Knight? Except here it goes nowhere. But also, how does Rhodey master this suit so easily? Tony took an entire movie to get used to it. Is any of this consistent? This is awful! What have they done to Iron Man? Tony Stark, one of the coolest superhero billionaires ever, and they've reduced him to the most cringe-inducing dad in history. But thank God Nick Fury shows up.
I told you I don't want to join your super secret boy band.
Then what the f*** was the point in the cliffhanger ending of The Incredible Hulk?
What if I told you we were putting a team together?
You left a cliffhanger to tie it into the next bit and then immediately go against it. What the f***? But Marvel plans every movie very carefully, yes.
You gotta be kidding me.
So Black Widow shows up and they give Tony something to help his health. The thing is, he shouldn't be having a health problem at all. The movie shows that the palladium in the chest piece is what's poisoning him, but Rhodey literally has his own suit that runs on an arc reactor. All Tony would have to do is remove his arc reactor with a battery that isn't toxic. But now the movie just says he has no choice but not to be Iron Man anymore, so Ivan wants to get some drones to take on Tony once and for all.
You said no problem. That's what you said to me. You said no problem. Now I need suits. The government wants suits.
No! Will you stop making suits and do something else, for the love of God!
What do you remember about your dad, huh? He was cold. He was calculating. He never told me he loved me. He never even told me he liked me.
Same.
Oh, and Tony, remember, I got my eye on you.
Okay, I will credit Marvel. With the exception of the Hulk cliffhanger, writing these films can't be easy because not only do you have to write the singular movie, but you also have to hype about 4 more in advance as well. But to me, the least interesting parts in this are with Nick Fury and Black Widow hyping up S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Avengers. Nick Fury was badass and mysterious when he had minimal screen time, which is what Favreau wanted. All of these scenes just drags the film even further down for me. Just focus on your one film and then do the others. These scenes just don't even feel like they belong in here. Anyway, Agent Coulson has to keep Tony on the premises. Or what? Look at him! The f*** is he gonna do?
If you attempt to leave or play any games, I will tase you and watch Super Nanny while you drool into the carpet.
Oh. Alright, fair enough. So Sam Rockwell goes through all his weapons with the military. This is basically every American's wet dream.
My Pieta, it's completely elegant, it's bafflingly beautiful, and it's capable of reducing the population of any standing structure to 0. I call it the ex-wife.
Same. So Tony discovers some old footage of his father explaining his future plans, giving the Amazing Spider-Man 2 something to rip off later.
I'm limited by the technology of my time. But one day you'll figure this out. And when you do, you will change the world.
Okay, this is actually a really cool moment.
What is and always will be my greatest creation is you.
Well done, movie. Even though they've shown that Tony's dad was like a very distant, absent deadbeat. But yeah, he was his greatest creation, okay? And I love how he just so happens to know that Tony will somehow have all this information and intelligence and technology years later to figure everything out. Yeah, he was a genius at the age of 8. He had the IQ of Deji.
My IQ level is dumb high, alright? I'm not trying to brag. My IQ level's 189. That is a very high IQ, okay?
So Tony confronts Pepper but fails to properly apologise. She's always left to clean up his messes, and to her credit, she does stand up to him and stands her ground.
I thought you two didn't get along.
No, that's not so.
It's just me you don't care for.
I can't imagine why. But Tony finds his dad's old models and... Okay, this is hilarious and strangely accurate. I have seen way too many drivers who do this.
I'll do whatever I want to do.
And that's when they come across Captain America's shield for more foreshadowing.
Yes, it is.
And of course he makes it completely indestructible because he's Tony Stark and he can do anything, damn it. So Ivan rings up Tony to give the world's slowest threat so he can trace the call, but he doesn't manage to do it in time. But he realises what he has to do and puts the suit on once again. Man, why are Pepper and Natasha even in this film? They don't really do anything. I mean, Natasha does in a bit, but why is Pepper in this? My God, what is with this movie? Why is it so cringy? It's like a granddad made it and he's just like, oh, I know what those whippersnappers like. I'm down with the kids. Let me make a film. But no, we get more suits! And that's when Rhodey shows up. But Matt, do they really hold events like this just to show off military weapons to the public? Settle down, settle down. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our latest nuclear weapon that we plan to use to completely destroy Afghanistan. So Iron Man shows up to much celebration. Wait, Why are they cheering? The last time they saw him, he tried to murder his best friend, and now they're like, woohoo, Iron Man! At least when they vilified Batman in The Dark Knight, it went somewhere. This film did it and then backtracked in the same movie.
Something like that.
So Ivan hacks the droids to attack everyone, even controlling Rhodey to attack Tony. It's suit versus suit again, for the love of God! So Natasha kicks Rockwell's ass to find out where Ivan is, and alright, I do kind of like the drone idea. And it does look awesome as they destroy the place.
Nice work, kid.
Oh man, come on! I knew they didn't have the balls to kill off a kid. Also, fun fact, this is actually supposed to be Peter Parker. It was heavily rumoured for a while, and then Tom Holland confirmed it to be true. Alright, that's pretty cool.
That's the best I got.
So Jon Favreau drives Black Widow and can't stop perving over her to drive properly. Did they mention she's hot? So they break in and kick some ass. Okay, I don't blame them. Look at her, man. She's just so hot. Just look at her. What was even the point in the smoke pellets? She can clearly kick their ass without them. And damn, Favreau even bites someone's ear off Mike Tyson style.
Oh, gosh.
But they get there and Ivan has vanished, though Natasha somehow knows how to reboot Rhodey's suit to give him back control. Even though she doesn't bother to reset any of the other suits, but okay.
Yes, for the moment I'm not dying. Thank you.
What do you mean you're not dying? Did you just say you're dying?
That you? No, I'm not. Not anymore.
What's going on?
I was going to tell you I didn't want to
You were
alarm
going to
you.
tell me you really were dying?
You didn't let
Why
me.
didn't you tell me that?
I was gonna make you an omelet and tell you.
Okay, that was funny. Time and a place, Pepper.
Tony, look, I'm sorry, okay? Don't be. No, I should have trusted you more. I'm the one who put you in this position. Forget it. No, it's your fault. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear.
Exactly! Tony's a d***. You know, it is nice that all those drones are being patient and letting them have this sweet touching moment together. Ah, that's better. But man, look at this. Oh, this is gonna be nuts. Well, that was lame. What? That was it?
Trying to pin this on me, huh? That's good. That's good. You're starting to think like a CEO, taking out the competition. I like that. You think you're making a problem for me? I'm gonna make a problem for you. I'm gonna be seeing you again real soon.
Not in this franchise, you won't. Are you kidding me? No, Rob, you're wrong. Not all superhero movies are the same. The MCU are good. They're all different and unique. We are 3 films in, and every single one of them has the exact same plot. The bad guy takes the good guy's strengths, makes it evil, and fights him with the exact same thing. 2 Iron Man movies, and it's literally, let's fight Iron Man with an evil suit. Are you kidding me? 3 films, 3 identical plots. Hey dude, I came up with an idea for the Iron Man sequel. Hit me with it. Okay, so we take the bad guy, and we put him in an evil Iron Man suit. We've already done that, dude. No, just hear me out, Okay. It's an evil Iron Man suit. Okay, that was funny. And I fully expected Rhodey to die. It seemed like the obvious cliche, so kudos for not doing it. But why have all the characters changed? Okay, Tony's still a d***, but Pepper's a damsel in distress, and Rhodey used to be sarcastic but charming with some comedy to him. But here, he's this miserable and serious uptight prick. And amazingly, Don Cheadle said he tried to copy as much as possible from Terrence Howard's performance. Well, you failed, mate.
You gonna let me work or break my balls?
So the fight is on. How can they defeat the big bad Whiplash? Why is this movie afraid of fight scenes? Every single one ends about as quickly as it starts. Oh, but yet they have the time to hype up the next 76 movies instead. The original ending was to actually have Whiplash survive, since he's f***ing immortal apparently, but then Rhodey was to kill him. But they changed it to be more ambiguous in case they wanted him to come back. Because he's immortal apparently. But uh-oh, the drones are all rigged to explode. And Tony manages to save Pepper, somehow knowing where she is. I guess he's got Superman powers now.
I can't take this anymore.
You can't.
I can't take this.
What do you, look at me.
My body literally cannot handle the stress. I never know if you're gonna kill yourself or wreck the whole company.
I think I did okay.
I quit. I'm resigning.
Oh, will you make up your mind? Are you Mary Jane now? Then they smooch. What the f?
Prone to self-destructive tendencies. I was dying. I mean, please. And aren't we all? Textbook narcissism. Agreed?
Ah, so he knows he's a dickhead. So it's okay? So his condition is fixed and now he's healthy. Then they get honoured by this Trump-looking son of a bitch. And then we have to wait through 7 hours of credits to see one more scene. And it's this Agent Smith-looking motherfucker again.
Sir, we found it.
Oh my god, the cliffhangers are so good! Unless they deliberately ignore them, and that was Iron Man 2. It's not good. I mean, it has some good ideas, but a lot of it is boring and focuses more on the damn sequels than its own film. It makes Iron Man a complete joke and just looks ridiculous. The main character is unlikable. You don't feel his midlife crisis, you just hear about it and have to accept it. The fight scenes are terrible and all anticlimactic. And it's the exact same movie again for the 3rd time! Let's just hope this series starts to get a bit more imaginative as time goes on. Otherwise, I'm gonna punt a baby in the head.